Welcome to Blessed Us, I'm Roscoe the Saxon. Today is the 12th of September 2020 in the year of the Lord Jesus Christ. This is relevant if you're Catholic. I'm not Catholic. Today marks the 337th anniversary of the Battle of Vienna. Vienna is a town in Austria. It's actually the capital of Austria. Austria is a little country in the Alps, and the Alps are a mountain range in Europe if you don't know that. The Turks had been besieging Austria for about 2 months when a relief force, apparently led by the Polish King John III, arrived. If you are Polish, you might be surprised me referring to him as John and not Jan III. This is the same as Germans automatically translate, for instance, the English kings Richard into Richard, the English kings Henry into Heinrich. In the English-speaking world, we refer to him as John, even though it's Jan to you. Sorry about that, but it's the same guy. Now, he led what has gone down in history as the largest cavalry charge of history. 18,000 cavalrymen came down, led by 3,000 so-called winged hussars, which is incorrect because, as I just said, it was the king himself who led this charge. This, for one, is, I'm not quite sure what words to use here, one badass, a lot of people say king. He was literally leading the charge from the very front. I mean, he had 18,000 horsemen behind him, but all the same, he was at the very front, which means the winged hussars themselves were not at the very front. There was one king in front of them. That aside, if you're Polish, this is something you're probably proud of and justified. The Swedish heavy metal band Sabaton. Their best song, in my opinion, is The Winged Hussars, which basically glorifies this attack. And it's the usual situation we have that the cavalry are taking all the glory. I don't want to diminish what they did on this day, but I would like to point out the following. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the Polish-Lithuanian infantry attacked the Turks. The Turks made the mistake of, instead of turning their full forces on the infantry, they still tried to get into the town. After 12 hours, the Polish cavalry finally attacked. They turned up on the crest of the mountain, as it were, at 4 in the afternoon. The infantry had started at 6 in the morning. At 4 in the afternoon, we've got the cavalry. And a little bit different than we have it in the song, it is not that they turned the tide. They basically came to mop up the rest. I would dare claim that if the winged hussars had not been amongst the cavalrymen, the Polish would still have had the victory. But they were there, they were the elite, and they led the charge after the king, and we can definitely credit them with doing a good job. But as I said, I would like to point out the Polish infantry had the hardest part of that day's work. For 12 hours, they were grinding away at the Turkish infantry. The Turks, demoralised after 2 months of siege, demoralised and exhausted after 12 hours of fighting the infantry, finally had the largest cavalry charge in history coming down at them. Yes, coming down at them, but you shouldn't really picture this like you saw it in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, The Riders of Rohan. You've suddenly got this huge amount of cavalry coming over the crest, coming down, sweeping into the infantry. Not exactly how it was. All the same, as I said, if you're Polish, you can definitely be proud of your national heroes, your heritage. If you are Austrian, then here too, I think you can commemorate today as a special day. If you're of Turkish descent, then, well, things don't always go the way you wanted them to go. If by chance you have Polish and Austrian and Turkish ancestors, then I would say, isn't it nice the way the word has sort of grown together?
We remember in September